All right, we are green. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. My name is Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together while we chart a course towards freedom, backhanding tyranny wherever we find it. Guys, what we're about to cover and what Elon just dropped today is going to make your jaw drop. You need to send this out to everybody so everyone is fully aware of what the Biden administration was doing, because Elon Musk just brought the receipts about how they were importing voters, giving them social security numbers, and they were also getting Medicaid. They were also getting Medicare. They were getting United States citizen benefits, and they were voting. Huh. Who'd have seen that coming? Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. Guys, I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one. And of course, if you're new here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. And if you are a returning viewer, make sure your prescription for freedom is not interrupted by that pesky algorithm that unsubscribes on people on accident. And make sure you are not being absconded. All right. Listen, people, we are in here. Make sure you got me audio, video. Good stuff. Excellent. We're going to dive right in because this is a 6-minute video that Elon dropped. And I want to show you this because it's incredibly important to understand what just happened and how close our rights were from going away forever because the books were cooked. I mean, you can say what you want to say. The books were freaking cooked. All right. Now, this is all about the border. This is about getting people in and all the different ways the Border Patrol was told to do things by the Biden administration. And then once they got in, the next steps. Guys, you need to send this one out because this is a bombshell. All right, let me show you this real quick. We got enough guys in here. Check this out. Yes, it is utterly insane, says Elon Musk. The American people would have been disenfranchised if the machine represented by the Kamala puppet had won. Thankfully, we have President Trump, he says. All right, so now here is the video. I want to scroll down to it, and it's a 6-minute video. Okay, so we're going to just stop at important points. But this is so crucial to everything that we hold dear, whether it's freedom of speech, whether it's the border, whether it's your Second Amendment rights, no matter what it is, whether it's the history of our country, the integrity of our voting system, all of it, right? This is it in a nutshell. There were accusations this was happening. He just brought receipts. Okay, now that we are fully up to speed, let me get the audio, the video. Let's dive in and watch the graphs and the numbers that he drops. Let's get it.
And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah, so let me...
All right, so just so you guys know, if you're just not tuning in, what he's about to show you is the raw data that they found of Social Security numbers that were issued, okay? They're going to focus on non-citizen Social Security numbers. Keep that in mind, non-citizen, all right? Watch this.
Let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of it.
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff that we're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political.
Okay. You have to understand what you're looking at right now. What we're showing you on this graph, and everything's linked if you want to watch this entire thing and you want to see the graphs and you want all the data. What you're looking at is the Social Security number issuance and the massive increase happening during the Biden administration. At the same time, the massive increase of immigration or border crossings was happening. Okay, you have to understand the correlation between these two numbers. Again, what held in the whole thing, that held in, what am I trying to say? Heck with it. What was so important was all these things are correlated. Check this out.
This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today.
I
Very
agree.
Good people.
Who goes to jail? I agree.
I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this
Come on.
is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it.
Okay, he's about to walk through all the ways that the Biden administration was manipulating this system through executive action. What's the number one thing we talk about on this channel? The executive action that was abusing the rights of the population through executive levers of power. The bureaucracies, because Congress wasn't doing it. It's all happening. All right, sorry, let's continue.
Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release from your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, notice to appear, which is to appear at a judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people.
Okay, so if you're just now getting in here, this is what the Biden administration was doing intentionally, utilizing the border service, okay? 5 million people, 700 judges, a 6-year wait term. So what you're talking about is the executive orders coming down from the White House. The executive branch was telling the CBP or the Border Patrol that they didn't have to do the felonies and the misdemeanors. They just said an administrative offense, which meant you're going to go see a judge after you got a parking ticket. 6 years later, 5 million people. Keep going. Watch this. This is it in a nutshell.
Okay, so what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number.
Boom.
No interview, no ID.
Right there. So, okay, this is the key point. If you're just now tuning in, or if you've been watching this, I'm going to sum this up in a nutshell for you and why this is so important. Because this is literally how they were getting the Social Security numbers to non-citizens to take part in all the things that I'm about to show you. Here's a hint. Some of it was voting. The other half of it was benefit. Yeah, I can't say seizing. That's not the right word. Benefit advantage. Okay, so they come across the border, and instead of getting a felony or a misdemeanor like the law would state, the Biden administration, through the executive channels, was saying, hey, just give them an administrative offense, which is like a parking ticket. They go into the country, again, released on their own recognizance. That's fancy speak for you just get in there and you make do and do what you want to do. Make sure you show up for your court date in 6 years, because there's 700 immigration judges. 5 million people did this. Oh, and by the way, file a form 765, which gets you the authorization to work, and then form 766 allows you to get a Social Security number with no ID check, no interview, and no nothing. Boom, Social Security. Guess what you need to vote? All right, let's keep going. I got to back this down because, my computer just went over X. Sorry, we'll get you back where we were.
Are like average 6 years.
Nope.
No ID.
There it is.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep. They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this...
He has a way with words, doesn't he? All right. You have to understand, again, why this is so crucially important. You have a $5 million 5 million person influx into the electorate that's going to be able to populate the voting systems or Medicaid or Medicare or whatever social benefit that you want. And you go into blue states. Do you think they're going to vote Republican? Nah. Now, Elon Musk is basically saying, seems to make sense. It's a permanent one-party state forever. If you can't win on your ideas, just get people to come across the border and through the levers of power, then you get them Social Security numbers through the right forms, and all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it, your ideas are so popular all of a sudden, everybody loves to be a Democrat. That's what they're accusing. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't look like it's far reach. Let's continue. Let's go into some more numbers of where they found the people doing this. Guys, this stuff, I'm seeing it a lot in the actual chat here. Who is going to jail? Someone's got to go to jail for this. You can't just do the same old rigmarole that we always do of, oh, those pesky Biden administration. Okay, maybe next time, but don't do it again. No, jail. Freaking under the jail. Long jail. Build a jail just for them and then put them in it. All right, let's keep going.
Myself, I'm not sure I believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it. And Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found...
Okay, this is really important. He said it really fast, but you have to understand what he just said. Max collection, max benefits. Everything that they found for the people who have these Social Security numbers was up to the max of the benefits, of the financial support, everything maxed out. It's almost like there was an advertisement put out and all of a sudden it goes away the second Trump is inaugurated. It's weird how everyone in the world, literally, was going through the southern border with this incentive, and you get maxed out benefits. You get to go in for a 6-year waiting period, just say the right words, and wink, wink, nod, nod, we'll get you later. And then you end up in the Medicare, Medicaid, maxed out, and you end up in the voting population. And they actually freaking voted. Okay, let's keep going.
1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example.
1.3 million.
On every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people, in those benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. Right. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote?
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote.
Okay, so not only were they registered to vote, you know, all those things that we always talk about, the ballot harvesting initiatives, all these different get out the vote initiatives, all these things? Yeah. So 1.3 million of them were getting maxed out benefits out of 5 million. That's a pretty big coincidence. 1.3 million out of 5.1 million. I'll tell you what, man, those are some lucky people. Who would have seen that coming? And they were registered to vote, and they were voting. Guys, jail, someone, for the love of God, accountability, jail, something, somewhere. I feel you guys on this, 100%. There needs to be accountability. That's the thing that's missing in our country. Anyway, let's keep going.
And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already. That is already happening. Right now. Yeah. And the truly disturbing thing, though, I just want you to know this, a truly
That's not disturbing
thing to me, and the darkest thing about this to me, the voter fraud is terrible, but the human tragedy this created is extraordinary, because what you don't understand, and people don't know, and Americans need to know, that's why I'm here, is that human traffickers made $13 to $15 billion off of this, okay? That's the money that's going around the world, moving people around the world to our borders because of these incentives.
Nailed it right there, and that's what I was waiting for. $13 to $20 billion industry was created because of the incentives brought on by the Biden administration. Literally, what we're talking about is incentivization by our federal government, by the executive branch, to cut down on consequences, max out on benefits, and all of a sudden Social Security numbers get sent out. 1.3 million of the 5.1 million people that are in there happen to end up on benefit programs maxed out. We have veterans in this country who can't even seem to get basic, decent health care at the VA. We got health care issues with our veterans who are literally begging for medication. And we got this kind of, I'm going to say bullshit. Bump that. Accountability needs to happen because an incentive was based for the direct benefit of the Democrats to continue to have a voting population of which Social Security numbers were given to non-citizens, a violation of federal law, which would have absolutely benefited one party and kept them in power forever. Therefore, they would have taken your rights even further, i.e. Second Amendment. Guys, This kind of crap, you have to have accountability. That's the point. If we don't have accountability, it is for naught. It means nothing to just know about it, spread it out, but you have to have someone being accountable. He said they already put people in touch with the Homeland Security. Good. I hope they go nuts. I hope Kirsty Noem goes nuts on it. But until I actually see arrests, right now it's just, look what we found. This is the point. The administration has a lot of data. They have a lot of evidence. They have a lot of things that they are going down and going, look what we found. Look what we found. Amazing. Good. Awesome. And I know it's only 65 something odd days in. You got to bring receipts and you have to put people in jail. If you don't put people in jail, it's going to be extremely detrimental for this entire country. That's my thoughts. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Am I way off base? Am I far too extreme? Am I a zealot for the American patriotic dream? I don't think so, but you guys let me know, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.